5 years ago, the life of Garrett Mendez changed forever. The 19-year-old suffered a massive stroke sliding into boards headfirst during a hockey game. Well, since then, his recovery has been nothing short of miraculous. And now he's giving back to the hospital that helped him get to this point. Garrett and his mom, Eileen, are here now, along with Lori Yvonne from Wallingford's Gaylord Hospital. Thank you all for being here. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Eileen, you were there that night at that hockey game. What did you see and how did you respond?
Well, as a mother of a child that had played hockey since he was 4 years old, it's your worst nightmare. He was always that player that would do anything for the team. He saw an opponent take a shot on net. He skated in and he dove on the ice to block the puck. I don't think he realized how close he was to the side walls of the rink, and I watched in absolute horror as he slammed headfirst into the boards. I grabbed my husband and I was afraid that he had broken his neck or that he was dead, and I was so relieved when I saw him get up and skate off the ice. He was checked by a trainer who found no sign of concussion, and he actually finished the game.
And he went home after that?
He went back to school. He was a freshman in college, and 3 days later he was home for Thanksgiving. He played another game after Thanksgiving. When he came home that night, he said he had a headache and his legs were weak. Later that night he started to vomit. He told us the right side of his face was a little numb. We thought that that was probably from the face cage on his hockey helmet, or maybe even from the vomiting, and unfortunately he went to bed before the symptoms escalated.
All right, and of course the diagnosis of having a stroke later on came a few days later. But let's talk to Garrett right now. All right, Garrett, what do you remember about this accident?
I really remember the hitting the boards and the week that I came home, and then that night flu-like symptoms came out, and I thought I had a bad case of the flu. We all did. I went to bed, and my mother came and checked on me in the morning, and I was basically unresponsive. And they rushed me to intensive care in the hospital, and 3 weeks later was a gift of God. I got out of there and went to Gaylord Hospital, and from there they really helped me to regain my life for myself. They basically took me from nothing and made me into something.
Sorry, but first let's talk about what happened during the diagnosis. You actually became paralyzed through this whole process. And initially the neurosurgeon told you he didn't have a stroke.
Right. They initially thought that the initial MRI that they did, that Garrett had moved during the scan, and even though the radiologist told him it was a brainstem stroke, which is the most devastating of all strokes, that he believed that Garrett had a severe form of encephalitis, and that with continued treatment he would be sitting up and talking in a few days. But then they did the MRA, which is the vascular form of the MRI, once they could sedate him, and that confirmed the fact that he had had a brainstem stroke. That was approximately 36 hours after he was admitted.
Had they diagnosed it earlier, Garrett, what would have happened?
There could have been something they could have done. The outcome wouldn't have been nearly as worse as it had been.
That's right, because you would have been given this medication that would have helped you with the stroke symptoms. All right, so Garrett, you're paralyzed, you go to Gaylord Hospital, and now, Lori, what happened there?
He had a great team of physical therapists, occupational therapists, and speech therapists, and also with the help of his mom, who did a lot of research. She actually opened some doors for rehabilitation techniques or procedures that Gaylord hadn't really known yet. She got us involved in a Myomo project, which is a robotic arm that Garrett used regularly to help him get back the movements of his arms. I think she also opened the doors for a lot of the therapists to, step outside the box sometimes and work with a younger guy in more of a everyday way. I can't speak for them, but I know that the therapists are all have become great friends of the Mendez family, because I think they also learned a lot in working with him and helping him get to where he is today.
All right, and because of all that what you guys have done at Gaylord Hospital, you, the family, are helping them raise money through a fundraiser. What is the fundraiser all about?
It's the Tip a Player event.
Tip a Player, okay.
Yes.
And tell us more.
It's at the XL Center. It's this Sunday from 4 to 7 in Hartford. The Connecticut Whale hockey team. The players act as waiters and serve food donated by local restaurants. It's an amazing time. We went the first year. Garrett was still in a wheelchair. He had only been out of Gaylord about a week, and his best friend from high school, Jeff Valecka, who was a former Notre Dame teammate of his, was there, and we just had a wonderful time. And every year since then, we volunteered.
Very good.
That's a wonderful event.
It's a big event now. Lori, tell us about where the idea came from.
We are in our 8th year, and the idea was actually started by another former patient. He, when he was 16 years old, was hit by a drunk driver, and when he got into the worker world later on in life, he also wanted to give back to Gaylord. So he worked for the Wolfpack, and he asked them to start this event, and through this event, we're on our 8th year, we're up to about $500,000 from this event. And this year is our first year with the Connecticut Whale, seeing how they took over the Wolfpack team, and they were very excited to work with Gaylord after hearing some of the stories. A lot of them didn't even know about Gaylord Hospital, and meeting Garrett and Eileen, and also talking to Joe, the former patient who started the event. They all learned a lot about our hospital and how they want to give back.
And the money goes to?
It is going to the programs and services. Not all of the programs and services that Gaylord offers are covered by insurance. So we're always, as a not-for-profit hospital, looking for other fundraising ways just to keep some of the basic activities and the hospital operating.
That's right, and helping a lot of patients going through Gaylord. All right, we've got to talk to you we have only a few seconds left here. But Garrett, I understand you are back on ice skates.
Yes, I am. It's a great form of therapy. After a while, my traditional therapy would get boring, I would say. So being able to get back on the ice and skate and challenge my balance and all those little nuances, I mean, it's a great form of therapy. And
did you ever think you would be back on those skates?
I really didn't. I never thought I would be back as soon as I was. I knew it would eventually. I just didn't think it'd be that fast.
And you just really pushed yourself, did you? And there's a video of you right there.
Yes, my high school team, they retired my jersey, number 11.
That is wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, the Tipple Player Fundraiser to benefit Gaylord Specialty Healthcare is happening again this Sunday from 4 to 7. For more information, the number right there is on your screen, or just come to WTNH.com and click on Connecticut Style. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you
and
for
Garrett,
having us.
we wish you well.
Thank you.
I'm sure more things will be coming your way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.